welcome to this edition of Joy in Our Town. I'm Ann Farrell Tater, your host, and I'm so excited to have back in the studio Lieutenant David Rosado. He's with the Chesapeake Sheriff's Department, and our topic today is public safety, and our issue is one of my favorite times of the year, trick or treat. Welcome to the program.
Thank you, Ann. It's also my favorite time, and you're in for a treat. I'm going to show you a trick.
All right.
Yeah.
That sounds good.
They say the hand is quicker than the eye. Today, we're going to find out if that's true. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Here we go. The hand. The eye.
Oh, okay. All right. That was good.
There you go.
That was good. Are you going to explain how you do that later?
Absolutely not.
Oh,
no.
Okay. All right, so let's talk about first the mechanics of trick-or-treat, because it varies city by city. Everyone has a different start and end time. So can you talk a little bit about that?
Absolutely. This year, trick-or-treating is October 31st, which is a Monday night. And trick-or-treating will be usually from 6 to 8 in Chesapeake. That's the hours. But I also have the other cities. Hampton is from dusk till 8. Newport News is from dusk till 8. Norfolk as well. Portsmouth is 5 to 8. And Suffolk would run from dusk to 8. Virginia Beach as well. And Williamsburg will run from 6 to 8.
And just in case people didn't have a pen and write that down, how do they find out for their local city?
They can go to their local city's website, and it's posted on their page.
All right. Mm-hmm. Thank you for that. Now, let's talk about how can we keep these little kiddos safe, because it's a scary world out there, and it's getting scarier all the time. So what are some things that we can do?
It is scary, absolutely. And this time of year, trick-or-treating shouldn't be scary for the safety of our kids. And parents have the number one role to keep their kids safe. Children up to 12 years old, from 12 years old on down, can trick-or-treat in costume and makeup and so forth. But if you're older than 12, you're not supposed to trick-or-treat. Okay, keep that in mind, because that is an ordinance in all the cities, and there is a fine and so on and so forth.
Do they ever really actually catch some of those kids?
I'm sure they.
No,
I'm sure they do. The ones that are vandalizing being destructive and violent, absolutely.
Right.
Because that is the time of year that some older kids will take advantage and do all those destructive things in the neighborhoods.
Because 12 to 14-year-olds, there's such a variance of some 12-year-olds look like they're 16, and some 16-year-olds look like they're 11.
That's why it's important for parents to be with their kids.
Oh, yeah. And that brings me to another question. So what is your advice about letting kids, because kids always want to get with their school friends, and especially on a school night, because it's such a short period of time, they want to run out with their friends.
Absolutely.
You advise against that, though.
Well, that's fine. If they're together and the parents are together and they can go throughout the neighborhood, that's totally fine. But you want to keep your eye on your child.
Right.
Because kids are too busy running from house to house and going across the street without looking. So there's a lot of different factors. The costumes should be reflective, and if it's not, then you have reflective tape. The size of the costumes should be short enough where they don't trip.
Oh, that's a good point.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And if you're going to wear a mask, make sure that you have line of sight.
Right.
If not, wear makeup.
Yeah.
Get good makeup that you could wear, and you'll have fun with that. That way you have better vision in the evening.
All right, so let's talk about some of the mechanics of going up to people's homes. First of all, you probably suggest they carry a flashlight, or somebody in the group has a flashlight.
It is fall. It gets darker a lot sooner. That's why the time is until 8 o'clock. It is going to get dark. Have a flashlight. Make sure it works.
Yeah.
Okay? And always have that flashlight on, as well as the reflectors. And when you approach a house, if the house is not lit, don't go to the house.
Yeah.
Okay? And I advise us as parents, have your house where it's kid-friendly. Make sure there's no obstacles where kids can fall or trip over. Your interior lights on as well as your exterior lights.
Make it clear that this is a house that you want kids to come to.
Make it a safe, fun place where they can come. And that's certainly a good point.
All right, so what about, because the other thing is you don't want to terrorize your children, but how can you teach them in a way that doesn't terrorize them about just being smart and safe?
Make them responsible. Tell them, set your expectations for them. Tell them how to behave when they're out. You want to have fun, but you don't want to run away from me. I need to see you. Don't approach a house that I tell you not to. And also report anything that's suspicious. And kids, they're out there. If you see something that's not right or feels wrong, there's a reason why. Call it in. Report it. And if your kids don't feel comfortable or someone looked at them a certain way or touched them or try to grab them, listen to your children because they know, and you can call the authorities.
Well, and that's the other question. I'm sure you're very present during that time. What is law enforcement doing to help keep these neighborhoods safe?
Well, they have more patrols in the area, as well as prior to Halloween, we're out in the community, and we do safety presentations for schools, for churches, for centers. All you need to do is call your local police or sheriff's office. They'll be more than happy to go out and share some safety tips for this occasion.
So are you doing that now? You're actually going out now into churches and organizations?
Yes, we have many requests for us to come out to do trunk or treat, to come to churches and talk about safety, go to schools, and that's what we do a lot of.
All right, well, let's talk about trunk or treat. What is that?
Trunk or treat is a safe alternative to running wild in your neighborhood, not knowing what house you're going to. A trunk or treat is an event that is organized by a business, by a school, by a church, or a civic organization within the community, and they have cars in a certain area, and with their trunks open, they can decorate their trunks to make it fun, make it spooky. It's outside usually.
Yeah, I was picturing a trunk.
No, it's a trunk of a car. I'm sorry, yes. It's a trunk of a car.
Oh my God.
So everyone lines up in a certain formation, trunks are open.
Turns the car off, I hope.
Cars are off, and some people decorate with lights, spooky stuff, fun stuff, and all the kids line up and they just walk from car to car to car.
That's so
And it's a
cool.
lot safer because the parents are together, and mostly they know each other. That's a
Where
lot
are these?
safer.
Are these at, who holds these? And is there a list to find out?
Actually, if you go to your city, they should have a list of certain places. I know that we have an organization like Chick-fil-A. They contacted us for a trunk or treat event at their location, as well as some community centers in Chesapeake. So that's where we go. So wherever we're asked to go, that's where we go.
All right, so what about children going to other neighborhoods? Because that's the other thing, you know, it's after school, they ride the bus home with each other and they want to get in the car and drive to other neighborhoods to trick or treat. How do you advise families?
I'm the parent and I tell my kids where they go and I take them where they go.
Yeah.
And
You're in charge.
I'm certainly in charge with that because I want to make sure they're safe. Make sure the neighborhoods you go to, look at them beforehand, travel them beforehand, see what kind of neighborhood it is. You want to stay within your neighborhood because you don't know, you know your neighbors.
Right.
So you don't know the other neighborhood if it's safer or who. I'm very wary approaching a door that I don't know.
Okay, and what about, let's talk about the candy, because that's the biggest rub with parents and their children.
Candy is great. As a matter of fact, I brought something here to show you. I have my little briefcase here.
That is a little briefcase.
Yes, it is. And I have, these are my favorite candies.
Are those real?
Well, actually, it's real magic. But these candies are my favorite because, one, they're wrapped by the manufacturer. Twice. And it's easier to unwrap, and you know that it's a quality candy, okay?
Yeah.
So if I have both of them here, and I'll ask you, what's your favorite, the Crackle or the Mr. Goodbar?
For me, Crackle.
Crackle. So if I squeeze like this and blow, watch.
Oh, wow. Wow. Okay, that was good. That was very good.
So when it comes to candy, inform your children when you go out, don't eat the candy as soon as you get it.
That's so hard.
It is,
kids.
but there's a trick.
Yeah.
Before you go out trick-or-treating, feed your kids.
And maybe give them some candy.
Yeah, give them something, a nice snack where they're satisfied, they have the energy to go from house to house, then that way they won't dip into their stash.
Yeah.
And then of course when they bring all the candy home, sort things out, things that are wrapped are good. If it is not wrapped, toss it.
And there are things that are for the parents' pile and things that are for the kids' pile.
Shh, that's a little trade secret. The kids shouldn't know that, but yes,
Okay,
absolutely.
All right, so what about alternatives to candy? Do you recommend that?
Absolutely, but if it is wrapped a certain way,
Yeah.
I would still be leery of a piece of fruit.
Yeah.
It can be a great organic piece of fruit, wash and all, but unless it's coming from my home, or baked treats.
Yeah.
And
No,
I
you don't
appreciate the effort
Right.
that people put into it, but if I don't know, if it doesn't come from my home, I
Right.
don't know where it's coming from or how it's cooked or baked or
Right.
so forth.
Plus allergies too. You don't know
Yes.
you don't want to be responsible.
And because of those allergies, you have chocolate allergies, peanut allergies. So look at, you know what the kids can't eat. So make sure as parents and guardians that we stay on top of that because we don't want our kids to be hurt. And of course, the whole old urban legend with the razor blade and the apple and all.
I was wondering about that because they said that when I was trick-or-treating.
Yeah, and I've heard that throughout my whole life.
Have you ever actually seen?
I've never seen it, but I'm sure it has happened.
Yeah.
I'm sure people don't always have our best interest in mind.
Yeah.
And this season, Halloween, the fall, it gets darker, brings out people that may want to hurt our children.
Yeah.
So we have to keep that in mind, and we have to be on top of
Proactive
it.
about it, yeah.
Exactly, proactive, diligent on our keeping our kids safe.
Yeah. All right, what about cars? Like, do you suggest that, especially with the little children, they go around in cars, or is it really safer to just walk?
It's safer to walk. Less cars in the road, it's safer.
Yeah.
Because if you're driving home late from work or coming from the grocery store and don't partake in Halloween and you're going through your neighborhood, whatever the speed limit is, go slower.
Right.
Because there are kids out there.
Yeah.
And kids are having fun. They're not going to be aware. They're not going to be alert. They're not going to be attentive. So we have to do that for them.
Right.
So slow it down. Understand that there's maybe kids in the road, and just do your part on the road. But I suggest walking is better than just driving to each
Yeah.
location, because that's one extra car on the road.
You do see that. I know in my neighborhood, I see there are a lot of cars and a lot of trucks packed with a lot of kids, which is a little...
Because they come from other neighborhoods
Oh,
to
yeah.
your neighborhood.
Yeah. We do have
Because-
some good candy in our neighborhood.
Yeah, and they know where it's at, so.
Well, we are going to take a break, and if you'll stay with us, we're going to still talk about some more keeping safe in this time.
Absolutely. Thank you.
I'm Ann Farrell Tata. If you'll stay with us, we'll be right back with Lieutenant Rosado from Chesapeake Sheriff's Office. Hi, welcome back to this edition of Joy in Our Town. I'm Ann Farrell Tata, your host, and we are going to continue our delightful conversation with one of our favorite guests here at Joy in Our Town, Lieutenant David Rosado. And he's with the Chesapeake Sheriff's Office, and we are talking about public safety, and we're going to switch gears and leave trick-or-treating and talk about public safety just in general.
Absolutely.
And you're going to start with
I'm going to start with a game.
Yeah, okay.
This is a game I used to play in the streets of New York City for all the unsuspecting tourists that would come by. And it was played with a cup and a ball.
Okay.
And it's really easy. Keep your eye on the ball.
Okay.
The ball can be underneath the cup in my hand or in my pocket. Where do you
Okay.
think it is?
right now in your hand.
Okay, no, it's in my pocket. Now, there are no wrong answers. That one just
Okay,
wasn't
well,
the
that
right
was
one.
right.
It's okay. We'll do it again. Do you see the ball?
Okay,
I'll give you
yes.
a chance to see it. Do you hear the ball? Give you
Yes.
a chance to hear it. The ball can be either underneath the cup in the hand or in the pocket. Where do you think it is?
Underneath the cup.
No, it's always in the pocket. I know, they always get this wrong. It's okay. Look,
Okay, I'm
this
just
is
trying
what
to make you
happens.
look good, that's
no,
all.
and I appreciate that. Look, slowly,
Okay,
the
that
ball
is- it
in the
is.
hand
Okay.
or the pocket, 50-50.
Yeah,
Where do you think it is?
in the pocket.
Okay, actually, no, it's underneath. It wasn't an option. Do you know how this is done?
No, you always have
I
one in your
cheat.
pocket?
No, I cheat. At least I'm honest about it.
Okay, what do you do?
This is what they do. They take the ball, place the ball in the hand goes into the pocket, but they keep it in the hand. When you're not looking, they put it in because I do use two.
Oh.
One's a little bigger than the other, so you can tell them apart. That's the bigger one.
Okay, so obviously I would be very easily
Yes,
correct.
absolutely. And this is
Yes.
a trick,
Discouraging.
a scam, a con, a hustle.
Yeah.
And if you missed that, you probably missed this as well. I'm just saying, okay? So
See why you're our favorite guest
there
around
you
here?
go. Well, I appreciate
Okay,
it.
that was really good. That was very
And
good.
that's just an example
Yeah,
of a hustle.
right.
And this is entertaining,
Yeah.
but there's many hustle scams and cons that are not.
Right.
Are not. I know we were talking in between the break, and you mentioned
Yes.
a scam, and I chuckle because this happened to my wife.
Yeah.
The IRS called
Yes.
my wife
That's a big
and
one.
said, "Hey,
everyone.
you owe the IRS
Right.
back taxes,
Right.
and you have to pay immediately. And if you don't pay now, we have a warrant for your arrest,
Yes.
and we're going to send the sheriff's office. We're going to send the police.
They're
we're
on
gonna
their way.
They're on their way.
Yeah.
And it is a scam.
Right.
It's a total scam. The IRS will not make these phone calls. The IRS will send you a letter stating exactly what the situation is and how to rectify it, who to call. You call them.
Right.
You contact them.
Yeah.
But you need a letter first to find out what's going on. So yes, this is where you have multiple people, as many as dozens or hundreds, in a room on phones calling. It's a numbers game.
Wow.
They'll call as many people, and they're
They have
scared.
a lot of information, though. That's the thing that's really frightening. They have.
This day and age, with technology and the internet, it's easier to get information on someone.
Yeah.
All you have to do is put a name in, see what pops up.
Oh.
Also, when you talk to the person, you're giving the person, it's called cold reading. I can
Yeah.
call you, ask you certain questions. All of a sudden, I know your name.
Yeah.
I can tell you that, hey, it's me. And you're like, who? Dave? Yeah, it's Dave.
Oh, right.
So it's a bait and switch tactics as well. And then they'll somehow get your information. The longer you're on the phone, better chance they have to get your information and to scam you.
All right. So what about so the first thing that we're referencing this young woman who's only 25 and got scammed out of quite a bit of money from this IRS scam. If she had asked for the phone number and then called, not even called back, just took the phone number down. Well, first of all, if she asked for the phone number, is it generally they're not going to give you a number, or do they have a number for you to call back?
They'll give you a phone number either that is not working.
So then do you call the police? Do you call 911?
You would call, your best bet is to inform the police department in your area
Okay.
and also inform the IRS.
Yeah.
The IRS knows about these scams,
And there's
but
nothing
they
they
need
can
to get
do.
more information from you that it's still happening in these areas.
Yeah.
What I did the first time they called my wife, I took that phone number, put it on the internet,
Yeah.
and it came up with IRS scam phone number
Oh, wow.
immediately.
Wow. So they're trying to alert people, but not everyone's getting it. And they do seem to prey on, older people
They
and
prey
younger
on the
people.
elderly.
Yeah.
They prey on anyone that they can intimidate.
Right. Because
Okay.
that's the other thing. They're
Sure.
they're professionals.
Yeah, they
they're
are.
very, because they knew
They're good
a
at what
lot
they
about
do.
this
They will
young
scream
girl.
at you. They will holler at
Yeah.
you. They will tell you they need it now.
Yeah.
And then the options you have is to wire the money,
Right.
or the new tactic is get an iTunes
Right.
card, put the money on the iTunes
Yep.
card, give us the number on
Right.
the card, and then once you do, they have the money.
Right.
Prior to this was the Green Dot Money Pack card. So there's a lot of different cards that you can go to the grocery store and put money on.
Gosh.
Don't do it.
Oh my gosh.
Don't
Okay,
do
so
it.
let's talk. What about another thing that I've heard about is somebody that comes up, they see a young woman driving and they bump her car. And then she gets out thinking, she's been in a fender bender, and then she was accosted.
Yeah.
What do you do as a young girl if you're driving by yourself? And,
Being a young person,
or
whether
guy,
a
yeah.
female, an older person, whether a female, your best bet is to not get out the car,
Yeah.
call the police, saying, I've been hit
Yeah.
by a car, and they usually they bump you from behind.
Right.
And the person's right here screaming at me, I'm not getting out of my car. So they know when they approach the situation, if it is a true
Yeah.
accident, they know that the call came in from the person in the car not getting out the car.
Right.
Because you can totally say, I'm scared,
Yeah.
I'm alone, I'm not getting out this car. As a matter of fact, I'm going to drive to the nearest well-lit fire station, police station, Walmart, anywhere where it's brightly lit.
Yeah.
And if it is a true accident, the person will follow you and then get the information. But do not get out the car, whatever you do.
It's your
Don't.
instinct to just jump out of the car to check and see what the damage is. That's such instinct. So it's really hard to make yourself stay in your car.
Again, that's why we have these informative shows, so you can know what to do and what not to do. Don't get out the car.
What about unmarked police cars? That's another one that you've heard about, that they have sirens.
You've heard stories, you've seen it on the TV shows. Where there's a flashing light behind you.
Right.
It's 9, 10, 11 o'clock at night. You're by yourself. It's a desolate area, not many lights at all. Don't stop.
Yeah.
Get on your phone and call the police. Say, hey, I am driving on this road. There is a car. I cannot tell what kind of car it is. It has flashing lights. I am not going to stop because I'm by myself.
Yeah.
I'm a female. I'm not going to stop. I am going towards the Walmart or whatever well-lit place, and that's where I'll stop. So if you can inform the officer, if it is an officer behind me, that's why I'm not stopping.
Right.
I'd rather be scolded by a law enforcement officer that I didn't stop than be pulled over and have somebody who's not in law enforcement come in and abduct me, or even worse.
So that you can call 911 for that.
Absolutely.
You can call 911.
That's why.
Because I know there are some calls that they're like, this is not a emergency call.
A non-emergency call is you may see something suspicious, but if you're actively driving and there's a light behind you, you cannot tell if it's a real police car, state trooper. You just call 911 and explain what's going on. I'm not going to stop. It's too dark. I'm by myself. I'm in fear of my life. I've heard this happening. Can you please inform him? And if they say there's no one on that road, go to this location and just follow the 911 operator's prompts.
You know, another thing, again, it's instinct, because we know this is dangerous, but I constantly see girls and guys and young people on their phone sitting in the parking lot. Just, I feel like that's
when that happens,
place.
They shut out the world.
Yeah.
They shut out the world. There was a news clip where one of the candidates was walking to a crowd, and everyone was facing their backs towards the person, trying to get a selfie.
Yeah.
So they no longer see you eye to eye. They see you through a lens or through a camera, which is unfortunate because they lose sight of what really is going on. People, young people especially, the phone stays on your person as you're walking, as you're driving. Don't go to it. There's no reason. It's distracting, whether we see the YouTube videos of people walking into a water fountain, off a curb, into an accident because they're looking at their phone.
Yeah.
And that is such a distraction.
Well, you know, now they're really encouraging all these body cams and cameras in the cars and everything. Are those really more of a distraction, or do those, you know, is that a safe way to drive?
There is, for law enforcement, you know, you have the cameras on the
Well, no, not you guys. You guys, I understand, but I'm just saying because now they're promoting them on TV and stuff. You can buy your own, you know, body cam
and again, with what's going on in the public forum when it comes to law enforcement and you know, civilians, they're just taking advantage of everyone's fears.
Right. Yeah, because everyone's afraid.
Yeah. So I think
I'm sure
that's
the police are the most afraid. I mean, they're the ones that are.
We try to do our job as best as we can on a daily basis, and all we ask is that you know, obey the law. And if there's a stop or if there's a conversation, and you are ordered lawfully to do something, do it.
Yeah.
You know, why have that confrontation? You know, just because you think you can, to avoid all that. And a lot of it may be just the way we've been brought up. My parents taught me to be polite.
Yeah, and respectful.
To be respectful. If ever
Especially to policemen, judges.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, those in authority.
To people in authority.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean that you are giving up your own.
Right.
But that's how you'll be safe.
What would you say to, you know, if you are just driving home from work and you see kind of a riot going on, because that's what's been happening, they block the streets. What do you do as just a citizen?
Well, as a citizen, your best bet is to try to avoid that at all costs. A lot of times it is forewarned that this is going to happen in this area, so stay away from that area. If you work in the area, leave early or find a different route home.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But most agencies have a plan of action when something like that happens.
Right.
And we may not be able to inform everyone. You have the news outlets that may be better informing people. Stay away from this area because this is what's going on. But yeah, we're seeing a lot more of that happen.
How about home at your house? Do you recommend people keep their lights on overnight?
Yes. Yes, your exterior lights. Your exterior lights need to be on the outside of your home.
Yeah.
There are some adapters that you can buy for a couple of bucks, and you can put the light bulb in that adapter and screw it into your outdoor lights, and it'll turn on automatically from dusk till dawn.
Wow,
it'll save you money along that way, but yes, you need to have your lights on
all the time.
If they're on,
I gotta tell my
people
husband,
won't walk towards.
He likes to save money, but
no.
Well, thank you so much for being with us. I really appreciate it. It's always a joy. I'm Ann Farrell Tata. Thank you so much for watching Joy in Our Town today. We will see you next time. Thank you so much.